Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. A couple of notable listings there on the LSU side. Garrett Dellinger listed as out. Not shocking. Had the ankle sprain against Texas A&M, had the tightrope surgery immediately after. This will be 3 weeks since the tightrope surgery, just not quite ready to go. So you would imagine Paul Mabenga will step in and play left guard for LSU. However, you did see a new name with a different designation on the injury report yesterday, and that was Tyree Adams as questionable. Tyree Adams had that fluke sports hernia thing in pregame against UCLA, and we haven't seen him since. I will be honest, and I didn't go back and look at this. I thought he was out for the year, apparently, but maybe that's not the case if he's listed as questionable. What I know is that Tyree Adams was the sixth offensive lineman for sure. If Will Campbell were to go down, Adams was going to go in. If Emory Jones went down, Adams was going to go in. If Garrett Dellinger went down, Adams was going to go in. If Miles Frazier went down, Adams was going to go in. If the center, DJ Chester, went down, you were going to see very likely Dellinger kick down to center and Adams go in at guard. So he was going to play any spot on the offensive line except center and was going to be the next man up for any offensive line injury as LSU ended camp and got into the season. And obviously he had that freak pregame thing, and it's kept him away from practice. Maybe he's available this week. I'm going to proceed as if Paul Mabenga is going to be the left guard, but I would now open the door that Tyree Adams could be that guy. I would very much imagine that Brian Kelly will be asked about this tonight at his meet availability, and we'll maybe get a little bit more clarity on that. But LSU's offensive line will be without Garrett Dellinger. That much we know. Here's what else we know. That LSU has not run the ball well against good teams. And I hear from people all the time. I did a radio spot in Lake Charles earlier today, and you have conversations, and the narrative is, well, LSU can't run the ball. Can't run it. Can't run the ball. And that's not completely true. They run the ball on mediocre teams, on lesser teams. They ran the ball fine on Arkansas. They ran the ball fine on UCLA. They ran the ball fine for the most part against South Carolina, who's got a good defense. They did not run it on USC. They did not run it on Ole Miss. They did not run it on Bama. They did not run it on A&M. But Florida is not any of those teams. They're not even South Carolina. Let me give you some of the rushing statistics that Florida has allowed. Miami was one of the teams they played. Miami ran for 144 yards on 33 carries. A&M ran the ball 55 times on Florida for 310 yards. Mississippi State, not exactly the Pony Express on the ground, ran it 56 times for 240 yards on Florida. Tennessee ran it for $143. Kentucky ran it for $144. Georgia ran it for $146. Texas last week ran for 219 yards. Florida gives up a lot of yards on the ground. And I would feel better about LSU's ability to attack that if Garrett Dellinger were playing. I would feel better about LSU's ability to attack that if Caden Durham got 50 of the 70 snaps instead of 20 of the 70 snaps last week. But we'll see. It's a new game. And I'm comfortable suggesting that LSU is going to make one hell of an effort to try to run the ball. You have got a quarterback that is very much in a slump. You've got a quarterback whose confidence is very much shaken. You've got a defense on the other side that has gotten gashed and gashed and gashed. You've got to try to run the ball. And I can hear y'all out there listening to me and going, they can't run the ball. They suck. They're weak. The strength and conditioning coach is terrible. Brad Davis, overrated. They can't run the ball. Hadn't been able to run the ball for 2 years. I hear you. They didn't run it great last week. They did not run it at Texas A&M. I got you. But those fronts have pros on them. Those fronts have second, third round picks. Florida's not that. If Kentucky, who has the worst passing offense in the SEC, can run it on them. If Mississippi State, who is going to throw up a bagel in league play this year, can run it on them, doesn't it stand to reason that LSU can at least try? Doesn't it stand to reason that LSU could run the ball 35 times for 165 yards on Saturday? I would suggest it does. I didn't say they would. I said it suggested they could. And they will absolutely try. And if LSU does run the ball and controls the clock like that, everybody can exhale in purple and gold. Garrett Nussmeier can exhale. Joe Sloan, the play caller, can exhale. The defense, quite literally, can exhale while they sit on the sideline and you run the ball. LSU's been at its best offensively this year when they have controlled the clock with a little bit of a running game and a very efficient short passing game. That's been the recipe. And I don't think that's going to change. I think LSU is going to try that again. And I just reject the notion, oh, they can't do it. Can't do it. I think they can. And I think there's a possibility, this is not a likelihood, it's a possibility, that they can break Florida's will a little bit, especially if a third-string quarterback's out there for the Gators. Because if they can start running a little bit, Florida's top two corners are out, LSU's wide receivers will get to work, and they'll be open, and I think Nussmeier will hit them, and I think LSU's offense has a chance to look very efficient in this game. Keep in mind, with or without DJ Lagway on offense, Texas against the Florida defense scored 35 points in the first half. A lot of folks suggesting, well, Texas hadn't played anybody. They're not that good. Well, if that's true, they still got up 35-0 on Florida. You can't mimic that in a way with a veteran quarterback, some good receivers, and an explosive running back. I would like to see that for LSU, and I think there's a real chance they can get that done. If they can't, you're going to get in trouble, as you have. If you do have to throw it 53 times, that's trouble. Too many opportunities for pass rush, too many opportunities for interceptions, too much pressure on the quarterback. But run it like Texas did for 219. Run it like Mississippi State did for 240. Run it like A&M did for 310. Miami 144, Kentucky 144. That's got to be the goal for LSU on Saturday in the Swamp. Those numbers have nothing to do with LSU. Have everything to do with Florida. They have nothing to do with LSU against A&M. They have nothing to do with LSU's strength and conditioning program. They have everything to do with the fact that Florida has not been able to stand up to rushing attacks. We'll see if that continues coming up on Saturday. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.